The half-elf's nimble fingers race deftly across the strings of the lute, plucking out a simple yet pleasant tune that crescendos into a flurry of chords. They move as they play, their lithe form striking a dynamic pose even in their leather armor. Their high, lilting voice joins the chorus, emerging from the lute's melody like a blooming flower, lifting and harmonizing. A strange glimmer surrounds the half-elf as they play, flowing outward from the vibrating lute strings until it encompasses the entirety of the stage, and then the surrounding audience. This scene, Amelie, the half-elf College of Lore Bard, is brought to you by Describe. Visit Describe.com/RPGBot and use coupon code RPGBOT5 to get $5 off your first subscription payment. Bend down, mother. How dare you sully my good name by spreading your slanderous filth?
It's so good. Welcome to the RPGBOT.Podcast. I'm Randall James, and with me is Tyler Kamstra.
Hi, everybody.
And Ashilai.
Toss a coin to your witcher, O Valley of Plenty, O Valley of Plenty.
That feels appropriate, yeah.
Yep.
Hashtag not my witcher.
Yeah.
The first season's good. The rest, all right. Fair enough.
I like them all just fine. I don't like where we're headed, and that's its own thing.
No, I didn't like where we were headed in season 2. I was like, don't like. No, thank you. Especially once I heard that Henry Cavill was getting kicked off of Geralt. I was like, but he is Geralt. He's great at it. Just because you don't want to stick to the source material. We're not going down that road.
Yeah. Hey, just to be clear, we'll get there in a second, but just to be clear, this is not an episode about the Witcher RPG. We could do that episode. It's not this episode.
What is this episode about? What are we doing tonight?
Well, tonight we are going to talk about optimizing bards in D&D 5e.
Yeah, that makes more sense. Okay, that sounds good. Let's do that. That's great. But Henry Cavill, I know you're out there listening. If you ever want to come on the show, talk about the Witcher RPG, you want to come on, talk about Warhammer, we're here for you. Just reach out. Have your people, our people.
We will agree with you that the Witcher series is trash now.
He'd never say that because he's too classy.
Well, he's also probably under some sort of contract where he can't badmouth it.
Sometimes it's both, okay?
Yeah.
Look, hey, we know he's a huge nerd, built his own gaming computer, plays Warhammer 40k, like enjoys all the fantasy stuff. I'm pretty certain he said that he plays D&D.
He's also working on getting a Warhammer 40k movie off the ground, which would be fantastic.
I hope that's good.
Yeah, I hope so too. Hey, Dune is about the closest that we're going to get to a really good Warhammer movie. So I'm hoping that if they just look at that movie and be like, do this.
Yeah. Not enough bolt guns and chain swords, sir.
Yeah.
But bards, right?
Bards.
Am I right?
Bards.
Yeah. Okay. So we've talked about fighters, clerics, rogues, and sorcerers. Like we've hit the 4-person party, the priest, mage, expert, warrior. Like we've hit those 4. Now it's time to talk about the iconic 5th wheel on this truck, the bard.
Is that how you describe them? 5th wheel?
Yes.
A little dismissive. Okay.
Yeah. It's dismissive because Tyler dislikes anything that tries to take anything from his beloved wizard class.
Yes,
tries to imitate anything of his beloved wizard class.
I'm going to adapt what you've said, and I'm going to say it better. You've got a great Jeep that you're going to go out exploring. You got 4 tires on, and those tires all have rolls. The Bard is the perfect spare tire.
There you go.
Because no matter what tire you are missing, the Bard can replace it, and the party can continue.
That's true.
Feel like you're all just sort of backhanding the Bard. Bards have a rough life already, as we discussed before we started recording.
Okay.
How dare you?
Okay, I know both of you have not played prior to 5th edition, so let me explain to you. Prior to 5th edition,
Oh, I know they were bad. They were
Bards were
terrible.
The joke class.
Yeah,
there was. I'm forgetting the name right this second. There was a YouTube series that did like a bunch of D&D style shorts. One of their shorts was one player played exclusively bards, and the most useful thing he did in one short was he would march into the fight, immediately die, and his body's piled up to the point that when things got dangerous, the party took cover behind the otherwise useless pile of dead bards.
yeah, that sounds about right. Pathfinder 1 didn't do bards any more favors. Pathfinder 1 bards are real bad. They can be really good. I will say, in Pathfinder 1, they can be really good. But you have to know exactly what you're trying to do, and you have to build them very specifically for them to be good.
Yeah.
Okay, I love the example you just gave, Tyler. Not that I need you to do it, but if you were to scroll all the way to the bottom of the card, I started compiling vicious mockeries. One of the ones that I have written down is, I've seen more effective corpses.
That's a great one.
That is perfect.
What would you say about bards in Pathfinder 2? Because I actually think they're pretty good in Pathfinder 2.
Oh, I've had a ton of fun. Yeah.
Like the composition stuff is just a lot of fun. It's what I feel is lacking from 5th edition, because bards don't really have stuff that makes them feel like bards. They just feel like a support wizard. That's not to say that they aren't fun, because they are. And some of the most fun I've ever had playing D&D is with a bard. But it's just, it doesn't feel like a bard, you know?
Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and jump into 5e bards rather than talking about how the smartest design decision that they make is borrowing from wizards.
I hate you so much.
We'll get back to that when we get to magical secrets. Okay. So
where they literally borrow from wizards.
Exactly.
I guess
this is wizards, and this is Tyler right over here, just way up in there. Just yeah.
That's fair.
Describing how he puts his nose into the book.
Totally.
Okay.
All right. So bards. We'll start from the basics, the proficiencies, and all that. So bards, like sorcerers, are a charisma-based arcane spellcaster. So all the things you care about from the bard really are going to be charisma-based. Your spellcasting, bardic inspiration, any like subclass features or whatever that have a saving throw, it's all going to be charisma-based. All of your best skills, charisma-based. So charisma first, always charisma first, unless you're doing some oddball thing, which, you know, that happens from time to time, but 99% of the time, charisma. Bards get light armor proficiency by default, so you're going to rely a lot on dexterity and constitution to pad your durability. You do get D8 hit dice, so you're more durable than a sorcerer or a wizard, but you're still pretty frail compared to like a rogue who's going to have better dexterity than you, or any class in better. Bards don't get proficiency in shields by default either. You can get it if you're a Valor bard, but just in general, bards are barely more durable than a sorcerer. So since you're depending so heavily on dexterity, constitution, and charisma, it's pretty frequent that you'll just start at level 1 with 15 in each of those and then increase them with your racial ability increases. All of your other stats are probably dump stats. You can lower those numbers a little bit to get better stats in intelligence and wisdom to support your skills, but a lot of the time it's just going to be like dexterity, constitution, charisma, and you're building yourself basically like a paladin at level 1.
Yeah, makes sense.
Bards get simple weapons plus a couple of oddball ones. Like there's some real world history that goes into this. So it's simple weapons plus hand crossbows, long swords, which you'll never use, rapiers, and short swords. Now, weirdly, this is the first edition where bards aren't proficient in whips. And honestly, I've never gotten a good explanation for why, other than maybe Indiana Jones is a bard, but that's the best I've ever been given.
I think they were trying to break a trope about bards.
Well, you know, so few classes use whips. Just give them whips. I don't see what problem it.
Just lean into the fantasy.
Yeah. Hey, some bards are kinky. Some bards work in the circus. You know,
some bards just really like that song "Whip It."
Whip it good.
So light armor, dexterity and charisma saves. Let's see. Bard skills are weird. They get at level 1, bards get proficiency in any 3 skills of your choice. So normally your class will have a list of skills you can choose from. And even the rogue who gets 4, like they have a pretty big list, but it's not everything. So bards can pick literally whatever you want. So you'll get 2 skills from your background, maybe some skills from your race, and then 3, just any 3 skills, whatever you want. Makes it very easy to fill a variety of roles within the party, so you can do a bunch of different things. Even if you multi-class into Bard, for your first level in Bard, you get any 1 skill proficiency of your choice. So like this is right from level 1, a very flexible class intended to do basically whatever you want with it.
And we're going to do that tonight.
Whatever we want. Yes.
Yeah. And so you called it out earlier. We're talking about the simple weapons that are available to us. Probably I'm going to take the rapier. Mm-hmm. And as soon as I possibly can, I'm going to get my hands on a hand crossbow. And that's my weapon plan for the rest of this adventure, right?
I'd probably go for a light crossbow over a hand crossbow. Like you still need 2 hands to use them. And
there's you get crossbow expert.
Yeah. And on a bard, why?
Well, consider that bards don't really have a lot of offensive options with their spells. Most of their spells are buffs or debuffs. And they have 1 damaging cantrip, which is, while very funny, really trash. I'm not gonna lie.
The damage is bad. Only the damage is bad. Everything else is good.
But the thing is like everybody loves the fantasy of it and the debuff that it gives, but you can accomplish the debuff with chill touch as well. Or no, it was
Frostbite.
Frostbite. That's it.
Frostbite's on a con save, though.
That's fair.
Hey, let's talk about that spellcasting since we're already kind of there. So this is something that every time I've ever seen someone play a bard, they forget this. Bards are ritual casters. If you know a spell that has the ritual tag, you can cast it as a ritual. Now, since you learn all of your spells permanently, that's kind of a huge pain. Like, it's still a permanent tax on your resources to know that spell, even if you're only casting it as a ritual. So, like, you're not a bard, you're not a tome lock, you are a bard. You're not a wizard, you're not a tome lock. You're not going to be great at ritual spellcasting. Also, the number of bard ritual spells is smaller than any other class. So, like, you have ritual casting, and if you ever use it more than once on the same character, like, sincerely, go get yourself a treat. Like, you've done very well. Congratulations. You've done something amazing.
Thanks.
That being said, if there is no wizard on your team, hold your shock, Tyler. But if there is no wizard on your team, ritual casting can be useful to take as a bard to fulfill that role, because there's a lot of good ritual spells that are just useful in general, like Mordenkainen's Magnificent Invention. Once you get there, really good to have if you don't have a wizard. So, and since you don't have a lot of really good 7th level spells anyway, might as well take that.
That's kind of true, yeah.
Yeah.
Bard cantrips, they're kind of an odd assortment. They're almost all taken from the like wizard spell list. So if you're playing a wizard, you'll be like, wait, this looks very familiar but small. Bards have one.
Just can't stop.
Look, wizards have the largest spell list. If you have overlap with the wizard spell list, it's gonna be that. It's gonna be, it's the wizard spell list.
You're gonna be insufferable when we get to Artificer, aren't you?
Am I not now?
I mean, you're already insufferable, but you're going to get even more insufferable when we get to Artificer, which is essentially wizard light.
Still do what he used to too.
Yeah. So part of the reason why the bard has so few cantrips here, like, you get almost all of the utility cantrips that wizards and sorcerers get, but you don't get any of the like do elemental damage cantrips. Like Ash said, the bard's only offensive cantrip is Vicious Mockery. So literally the only way you can hurt things with cantrip is to tell them that they're bad and do psychic damage.
And that they should feel bad. You're bad and you should feel bad.
Yes. Yeah.
So killing someone with it is very funny. It is quite hilarious.
Yes.
Yeah. And now I'm down.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, the good news is though, like, you don't actually know any cantrips. So at first level, you know 2 cantrips to the wizard's 3. So okay, that's not huge. Yeah. But like, let's looking at like level 10. At level 10, as a bard, unless one of my subclasses give me an additional benefit, I know 4 cantrips.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess compared to the 5 of the wizard, that's not so...
Yeah.
I thought it was worse.
Knowing 4 at level 10 is pretty typical, actually. Like, sorcerers get way more than anybody else. Wizards get, I think, 1 more. Clerics and druids, by default, get 4 at level 10.
Yeah.
Don't quote me.
I thought that was worse. Okay. No, that's about right.
Yeah. So you'll probably have Vicious Mockery and maybe a utility cantrip of some kind, like Mage Hand or Minor Illusion or whatever.
Absolutely. You have Vicious Mockery and then roll a d10 to pick one of the other 9.
That's true.
If you want to get all the cantrips, though, you got to go Warlock. Because Warlocks get a lot of cantrips if they go Tome.
Yeah.
Yeah, they get a ton.
All right, so first level spells, bards have very, very few exclusive spells. Like, the ones that they have are kind of cool, and unfortunately over time they got handed out to other classes, especially when Tasha's came along. You're not going to have a ton of direct damage spells across the whole level range. Almost everything that bards can cast is either an enchantment or an illusion, and that dates back to previous editions where you would literally get the wizard sorcerer spell list but could only learn spells from the enchantment and illusion schools. They broadened that a little bit in 5th edition, like you can get some transmutation spells like polymorph and a few other things. You can get healing spells, which I think are necromancy currently. They keep changing it and I cannot keep it straight. Yeah, it's still a great spell list. Honestly, if you're gonna build a save or suck caster, you could do a lot worse than
Cure Wounds, Evocation.
Evocation, yeah. Honestly, it should be necromancy. I do not understand.
Cure Wounds is evocation?
Yeah.
That makes no sense.
In 3rd edition, it was conjuration, and that makes even less sense.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah. It should be necromancy. That's so dumb.
I've just wait for 10 years.
Yeah. Let's see. So as you look through the bard spell list, you'll notice like most of it does come from the wizard spell list. So like you are very close to a wizard that only casts enchantment illusion spells, but you get a handful of other options. Like you get a handful from the druid spell list and you get the essential healing spells. So healing word, cure wounds, lesser restoration, greater restoration, those. So you can absolutely fill in for your party's healer if you take those essential healing spells. And then your party can be like, oh yeah, fighter, rogue, bard, wizard. Who needs a cleric, right?
So I would say.
Yeah.
Or alternatively, you could go fighter, rogue, cleric, bard.
Bard. You sure could. Yeah. Just everybody else needs to keep up on damage. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. I will say... probably the biggest weakness in the bard's spell list from like levels 1 to 20 is most of your offensive spells rely on wisdom saves. There's a ton of reliance on psychic damage as well on the few bard spells that do actually deal damage. Vicious Mockery, Phantasmal Killer, Synaptic Static, like things like that. All psychic damage. So anytime you run into things with really, really good wisdom or resistance psychic damage or just outright immunity, bards are going to struggle, so you're going to have other tactics on hand. So buff spells for your party, polymorph, illusions if whatever you're fighting can fall for illusions. You can't just lean into damage and save or suck spells on the bard, unfortunately, because it hits that one specific defense so heavily.
But I'll also say if that's really what you're going for, maybe the bard isn't the class you're looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's appealing about the bard, and honestly what I would say makes it fun to play more than maybe wizard, is you can't just turn off your brain and just throw fireball at things. You have to actually think things through, strategize, all that stuff. Like the best bards that I've seen played are the ones that have out of the box solutions to weird problems like those. And if you're good at that kind of stuff, you can make a game-changing bard. You can make a bard that is the most powerful member of your team. They're basically like a Swiss Army knife in a lot of ways. Like they are the jack of all trades, master of none. But if you specialize in one typical thing, you can be. You'll have the right tool for a job that you didn't know you needed at a certain point. Yeah.
So the bard's last first level feature, Bardic Inspiration. Like this was the bard's iconic thing in previous editions. Like you would activate Bardic Inspiration and it was typically called Inspire Courage because it would give you bonuses in combat, bonuses on saves against fear, make you feel brave, and it would buff your whole party, and it was a whole thing. Now it's more general, just bardic inspiration. As a bonus action, you grant the die to another ally. You can't give yourself bardic inspiration, which is annoying. So you grant the die to an ally. They can hold it for 10 minutes, at which point it's wasted at the end of the 10 minutes, and they can use it no action on an attack roll, an ability check, or a saving throw. Using it defensively for a saving throw is like the safest, like most reliable way to use the die, but you also can't necessarily guarantee that you're going to hit a saving throw. So like it's frequently a good idea to use it for high value attack rolls, like if you're casting inflict wounds or something. Or if you're an assassin, you really need to hit with that attack on your first turn. Ability checks to like shove an enemy off a cliff, things like that. Anytime you're doing something high stakes, bardic inspiration's great.
Let's play a game of can and should.
Okay.
Initiative rolls.
I believe you can. Yeah, I believe you can.
It's an ability check, right?
Yeah,
sure is.
So there we go. Should we?
Yeah.
Maybe. It depends on whether it's more useful for you to go later or earlier in the turn. I would argue wizards and clerics want to go later in the turn order just because they can set things up more. Or especially clerics because they can react to things like if there's party damage and that kind of stuff.
And there are subclasses that benefit from going first in combat, right? So like, like taking advantage of that.
That assassin rogue definitely wants to go first.
Yeah. Technically, I think you could use bardic inspiration on death saves too.
It is a saving throw.
Yeah. Huh. That feels wrong.
That's fine. It's great.
Yeah. I wonder if you have to be conscious to decide to use it. I don't know. Talk it over with your DM. I don't know.
Death saves?
To give it to them, they have to be able to hear you. And so you probably couldn't give bardic inspiration. It's like, hey, buddy, you're going to be fine. That's not going to work.
I in the past have said that you can't apply inspiration to death saves because it's not technically an ability check. It's
a saving throw.
It's saving throw.
Yeah. It's not it's not an attribute saving throw, it's a special saving throw. And I feel like it's one of those saving throws that I don't want to be modified by anything. Because
I understand that, but they didn't stutter. They just said saving throw.
It's already hard enough to die in 5e. If you add inspiration, it basically becomes impossible for you to die in 5e.
Yeah.
The one exception that I will allow people to do it for is the Tides of Chaos thing that the sorcerer does, because it costs 2 sorcery points and it's only like a D4. So I'm like, okay, that's fine. I get that.
Actually, okay, I may have found your out, Ash. Let's talk through it right quick. I know this is what people come for, so talk about death saving throws and bardic inspiration. Okay. The creature can wait until after it rolls the d20 before deciding to use the bardic inspiration die, but must decide before the DM says whether the roll succeeds or fails. On a death saving throw, I roll the die. I immediately know whether I succeeded or failed.
Yeah.
So maybe you could say it doesn't qualify because I know, but maybe what I do is I roll it and I don't look, and I just look at everybody else to see if they look sad.
And then you spend it on a natural 1. Everyone's like, good try, bud.
The other thing is that if you can use inspiration for death saving throws, if you know you're going to be in a tougher game, BARD becomes a necessity to have. And I don't really like that.
I still feel like this isn't going to come up that often.
Yeah, honestly.
If I'm really trying to kill you, I'm just going to double tap.
Yeah.
I got creatures with 3 attack rolls down on the first.
Have I told you how frustratingly difficult it has been to kill my players and characters in Planescape? A game specifically designed to be overtuned where the players are specifically supposed to die multiple times. It is impossible. Even when I try to double tap, these guys still have ways to bring their friends back from the dead. All it takes is a healing word. That's it. That's all it takes is a healing word.
Okay. Giant frogs.
Okay, yeah, swallowing.
What I always say.
Exactly. Just 8 giant frogs is a threat at any CR. They're in there. Somebody is swallowed whole. Everything is a problem immediately. Giant frogs.
I mean, I pride myself on the fact that I have killed every single one of my players at least once, except for the freaking cleric. The cleric is the one person I can't kill.
Well,
if my players are listening, I do this out of love for you guys.
I wish you inspiration for your next session. Should we talk about Jack of all trades?
I want to get one more thing on Bardic Inspiration real fast. Okay. Bardic Inspiration, you get a number of dice per day equal to your charisma modifier. Now that's per day. Like that is per long rest. I've seen a lot of players take a single level in Bard, be like, oh yeah, I've seen Bards played. You get it back on a short rest. And then they actually read the feature like, oh no, my Bardic Inspiration is not nearly as useful as I thought it was. It's like, yes, you get it back on a short rest starting at level 5. This is a good example of a class feature that they designed. So it's like, okay, you get to use it at level 1. It's still really good. You get a big taste of it, but it's not a low-level class dip, something that you're just going to go in and be like, I get the full functionality right from level 1.
I would argue it's not even good at level 1. It's a D6, I think it is. And that's like...
Yeah, that's right.
It's not that good at that level. Like a D6 is fine, especially since you don't get it back on a short rest. You get it back on a long rest. It's like not worth it.
Yeah. Well,
if you had a high charisma modifier, you would get a bag of them, and so maybe that's more useful.
Yeah, and the problem is everybody forgets to use them. Everybody forgets. Like you give people inspiration, they just never use it.
Yeah, that is. Yeah. In one D&D, they're changing it to be a reaction instead of granting the die as a bonus action specifically to combat that problem.
That's good. I like that.
Yeah. As long as you have something to do with your bonus action as a bard, you're probably happy about that. Yeah. On the flip side, it's like, oh, well, I guess now I know what all of my reactions are going to be. Never mind my own opportunity attacks.
That's how lore bards end up being played. You end up using your inspiration just to do cutting words. And nothing else.
It's so good. Uh-huh. So level 2, Randall called it out, Jack of all trades. So Jack of all trades allows you to add half of your proficiency bonus to any ability check that you make. Now, I'm pretty certain the intent here is like, if you're making a skill check, if you're using a tool, like something along those lines, you're intended to add half of your proficiency bonus there. It's like, yes, you're an expert in a few things once you get expertise, but in addition to that, like you can do a little bit of everything reasonably well. But there are other non-obvious things that are ability checks, like Randall hit this one earlier, initiative rolls. The ability check for Dispel Magic, the ability check for Counterspell. Like we have a full list of everything that counts on our 5e Bard Handbook page. Yeah, like the single Constitution check in the entire game, the Constitution check to perform a forced march, level 2 bards, better than everyone else at marching for some reason. It's funny.
Yeah. That's what makes bards probably the best skill monkeys of the entire game, besides maybe rogues. But I mean, even rogues can't approach the levels of just being good at basically everything that bards are. You're basically like a Mary Sue character. To quote Joe Cat, between this and expertise, everything that you're bad at, you're suddenly good at, and everything that you're good at, you're suddenly unbelievably amazing at. So it's like,
it's about right.
If you hate failing skill checks, play a bard.
That's actually really solid advice. Yeah.
It's funny. It's almost like they named this particular feature really well. Jack of all trades.
Other thing we get at level 2, Song of Rest. So this one gets really, really easily overlooked because it's pretty minor. When your party takes a short rest, any character who spends a hit die, you can perform a Song of Rest, and any character who spends a hit die heals an additional amount equal to your Song of Rest die. Now, it's only one die, no matter how many hit dice they spend, but they spend one hit die, they get the full benefit of Song of Rest. This has always bothered me personally. The Song of Rest die scales separately from Bardic Inspiration. It's like a level or two behind. So they'll always be different. So you always have to keep track of them separately. And like, I just find that minor design choice incredibly frustrating. It is not a big deal. No one should care, including me. Do not care about this, but it bothers me.
Well, I thought you were going to say the thing that wouldn't be a big deal is just saying use your Bardic Inspiration die. Whatever that die is at this level, just use it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if there are a lot of folks out there who are accidentally doing that, because it'd be pretty ridiculous to have 2 different creeping scales at different levels, whereas the die get bigger.
It would, wouldn't it? And yet somehow WotC finds a way.
Yeah.
It's like you don't gain much by just having an increase with the freaking inspiration die. Come on. Oh, I got a D8 at level 5. I'm suddenly so much healthier. I find 5th edition, for a game that's hard to die in already, it is so stingy with its healing. Like, it's really stingy.
Yeah, it is.
So when I look at this, it feels like it's something that's super impactful in early levels where, like, you only have 15 hit points. And so the idea that I'm going to give you that extra 1d6, which means potentially we can take additional short rest because you're going to have the hit die to take later, especially if, like checks and balances, right? Let's say you're playing a gritty realism game because you want to feel the stress. You want to feel the resource constraints. You're really trying to drive that, and the party's having a lot of fun with it. That means making your hit die last is tremendously meaningful. And so something like this, which is effectively saying, when you spend it, I'm going to give you a bonus, feels really good, especially in these early levels. I feel like as we get to higher levels, you know what? When I'm level 19...
Tell me how a D12 is going to be impactful at 17th level when we have like hundreds of hit points. Woo, 6 more hit points. Yay.
I mean, the best thing I could say is like, you're also going to have 17 hit die. And so if we take 17 short rest, I get to add a D12 to each of those.
It takes an hour to take a short rest.
No. I'm not saying we're doing it back to back.
Resting? Are you a coffee lock?
No. I'm just saying, like, we're going to do 3 a day and it's going to be great.
I think this feature made more sense when the developers thought that people were going to be using short rests more often than they end up doing. I would say I agree with Randall that I think that this is a feature that works really well for a gritty realism more than just a regular game. Like in gritty realism, it's a really good feature. But in 5e, it's like, oh yeah, cool. Thanks. Tasha's also added another optional feature at 2nd level called Magical Inspiration, which I think is actually pretty good upgrade for the inspiration die, which is when someone who has inspiration from you uses a healing spell, they can roll your inspiration die and add it to the healing for one creature that's targeted by the healing spell, which is pretty good.
Okay, I'm going to reread that to you real quick. If a creature has a bardic inspiration die from you and casts a spell that restores hit points or deals damage,
oh wow, okay, never mind.
Yeah, the creature can roll the die.
I didn't see the damage part.
Yeah. So part of the problem with bardic inspiration prior to this feature is like spellcasters, wizards, etc. typically don't make a lot of ability checks. They don't make a lot of attack rolls, especially beyond low level. And it's entirely possible that if you're playing very safely as a backline caster, you're not going to make a lot of saving throws. So bardic inspiration is very, very minimally useful for you. So the magical inspiration optional class feature makes it much more appealing.
Yeah. Bard College.
We're
all getting our degrees, guys.
So there's a joke here how bards go to college, wizards go to school, and college is supposed to be more advanced, and there's jokes there.
Yeah. Well, wizards get
nail it. I don't get the joke yet.
Wizards get their PhD. I feel like bards drop out of college.
They get an associate's degree. They go to a community college,
Sure. Yeah.
No, it's the place that they played at. Like if you ever go to a college town, there's always live bands at most of the venues. There's a lot of great things. You don't actually go to the college. It's just the place that you spent your youth.
Got it.
All right, we're going to do what we always do. Wizards. I'm going to list out the different subclasses. You say yay or nay.
All right, go for it.
Creation.
Good.
Yeah, I agree. Eloquence. Broken.
Amazing. Broken. Yeah.
Really broken. Especially if you're going to be the face, you're just never going to fail at any face skills ever. Glamour.
It's fun. It's fun, but it's not amazing.
If I want to do like an RP heavy campaign, I could have a lot of fun here.
Yeah, I mean, if you're playing like a star, like a celebrity, glamour is definitely the way you want to go. Like if you want to play Ariana Grande in a D&D game, probably pick glamour.
Yeah,
or Taylor Swift.
Just any celebrity, really.
Any celebrity. Taylor Swift in a D&D campaign would be funny.
D&D game.
Dibs on playing Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Always be Obi-Wan.
Yeah, he really will. Star Wars does that to people.
Hello there.
Yeah.
Lore Bard.
Classic.
Amazing. Excellent.
Yeah,
Yes.
probably one of the best still. Like, it's still really good.
Yeah.
Spirits. I think it's really good.
It can be a little unpredictable, but if you're okay with the unpredictability, it can be really good.
Yeah, it's just a fun class to play. Like, especially if you want to have like a dearth of features, spirits is one way to go. Swords. I go back and forth. I go back and forth on swords.
I want to explain myself. I wasn't familiar, so I sat down and preparing to do this episode, and I read through it, and I'm reading this, and it's like, what if I wanted to be a worse fighter?
Yeah.
Like,
especially since there's the next one, which I'm going to get to after you finish.
Okay, my rant's almost over. I feel like if this is what I'm going for, I would be better off dipping into fighter, at least for 2 levels, if not a couple more, and then picking literally any other bard subclass. And I would have a better College of Swords bard than the College of Swords bard.
I kid you not. We just published as of when we recorded this, like a week ago, we published a College of Swords bard handbook. And my advice in there was, if you want to play this subclass, you will do so much better taking 3 levels of Battlemaster Fighter and then any other bard subclass.
Yeah. Okay, good. We're aligned.
Yeah.
Which then leads to the next one. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Valor.
Yeah.
How is it worse?
Is Valor worse? I thought it was slightly better, but maybe I'm wrong.
Okay, so
I get the two confused all the time.
Yeah. Swords is better offensively. It feels more like a fancy bard. College of Valor feels like you just took a level of fighter. Like,
fair enough.
Like literally, you could take a level of fighter and get almost everything the College of Valor gets except extra attack and battle magic.
Let me just give it out right quick. So at 3rd level, you gain proficiency with medium armor, shields, and martial weapons.
Exact benefits of a level of fighter.
Okay. Combat inspiration. You learn to inspire others in combat. A creature that has bardic inspiration die from you can roll that die and add the number rolled to a weapon damage roll it just made. So we can add a little bit of extra damage. Alternatively, when attack rolls made against a creature, it can use its reaction to roll the bardic inspiration, add that number to its AC.
Somehow Baldur's Gate made both of these subclasses feel better, and I don't know how they accomplished that. But
items.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Finally, to just put a bow, 6th level, you get extra attack. Great. 14th level, finally at 14th level, and I was actually a little excited about this, except for its 14th level. If I cast a spell, I can then make a weapon attack with my bonus action. Boom.
Eldritch Knight fighters can do that at level 7, I believe.
Perfect.
Yeah. Like the way that Baldur's Gate 3 made Swords and Valor Bards so interesting is there's a ring you can get where if you cast an enchantment spell or an illusion spell if you take the attack action, you can cast an enchantment or an illusion spell as a bonus action. So, as we established earlier, most bard spells are enchantment spells or illusion spells. So basically you have the entire bard spell list castable as a bonus action as long as you take the attack action.
They also made sword flourishes able to be used on ranged attacks, which allows you to have like 3 attacks if you're wielding hand crossbows in each hand, especially since you don't need crossbow expert to do that. And so a dual-wielding crossbow bard, swords bard in Baldur's Gate, actually quite fun to play.
I bet. That makes sense. But maybe that's the improvement we need in 5.5.
Yeah.
5.5.
So that brings us to the last one. And I know that you guys are going to be disparaging to it. I will fight you on it because it is probably, if not my favorite, close to my favorite bard class, Whisper Bard.
I don't know what you're projecting. College of Whispers is cool.
It's not a very powerful class. No, I don't think it is, but it's got so much flavor and so much fun going about it.
Useful flavor.
Especially if you're in a role play heavy campaign. Like if you're in a combat heavy campaign, Whisper Bard is not gonna do anything for you. But if you're in a role play heavy campaign, especially one that has a lot of political intrigue and stuff, Whisper Bard is so cool. You basically get to play. You basically get to play James Bond. That's basically what the Whisper Bard is.
So I read it and I think more of like, I can't remember what they're called, but the Assassin's Guild in A Song of Ice and Fire. the Faceless Men.
Mm-hmm. That feels kind of right.
Like it has that vibe to the point of like
they are kind of like the Faceless Men. Yeah,
I love
Whispers.
This is the subclass, right? Where like I kill you, I steal the shadow, and then I can use the shadow to just
It is basically like the Faceless Men, and I just love the flavor so much. And I had so much fun playing my Whisper Bard, but I get that it's not the most powerful Bard. I still will die on this hill, but it is fun to play, and you should give it a try if you can. Damon's also pointing out Tragedy. Tragedy's not an official one, but it is in the Wild Mount one. What do you think on it, Tyler, about Tragedy?
I'm forgetting exactly what it does, but if I remember correctly from when I read it, I think we have a handbook for it on the site.
It's sort of like when you fail, you actually succeed sort of thing.
Yeah. I feel like I remember it being really cool. Like there were some novel design choices. I'm drawing a blank on the features at the moment.
It's a weird one, but it is very cool. I wouldn't say it's like very powerful, but you can't beat the flavor. Like, okay, so the first feature that it gets is you learn to harness the beauty and failure, finding inspiration even in the direst twist of fate. Whenever you are an ally within 30 feet of you rolls a 1 on the d20 for an attack roll, ability check, or saving throw, you can use your reaction to soliloquize and regain 1 expended use of your bardic inspiration. It's so dumb, and I love it. It's great. Like, the flavor is great. That's what's great about a lot of bard classes. Like, they're not the most powerful. Yeah, they're not the most powerful subclasses, but they are a lot of fun and they have a lot of flavor. The trailer for the Tragedy Bard, by the way, if you ever want a good laugh, watch it. Watch the trailer that they put on YouTube for the Tragedy Bard. It's hilarious. It's great. I love it.
All right, so we got to make choices.
Mm-hmm.
What's everybody doing?
I think you know mine.
All right, you're going Whispers?
Absolutely. I'm going to recreate one of my favorite characters that I ever played, Willow. She was a changeling who carved masks of people that she met and wanted to steal the faces of it. And then she would use those masks to sort of morph into them.
Neat.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I know what I want Tyler to do, but I'm going to let him say it. And then if he's wrong, I'll correct him.
You're going to say lore. No?
No.
Swords?
No.
Why would he pick swords after he went on that whole rant?
Punish me for something? I don't know.
No. My ask is, I would love it if you showed us how the Eloquence Bard breaks everything.
Oh my god.
Yeah, okay.
It is.
Is that arm twisting?
It's insane.
Yeah, okay, let's do it.
Eloquence Bards is another one of those subclasses that I have come very close to banning because it just it doesn't break things like combat wise, I would say, but it really trivializes any sort of RP that you're going to be doing.
Yeah.
And you'll see why as we build our characters.
Yeah. I was going to say College of Creation because you could turn a wagon into an animated creature and use it as a flying magic school bus, but so basically Miss Frizzle from the magic school bus. Yeah. She was a creation bard. Absolutely, she was a creation bard.
It's like everybody's third favorite redhead.
Who's the first two?
Where am I on that list?
Dude, you're number 1, obviously.
Who's number
Love
2?
You too.
Amy.
My
wife. Yeah, all right.
So be a little liberal with the word wife, everybody.
Miss Frizzle. Somewhere in there, maybe my children.
We're gonna move on.
Yeah.
So I'm debating between creation and lore, and I'll let you two tell me what I should do.
Okay. Do you want to have cool subclass features, or do you want to pretend to be a wizard?
I want to have cool subclass features. I'll be creation. It's fine.
Creation. Yeah. I mean, Tyler really wanted to recommend lore for you, but I think creation's the more interesting. We all know how to build lore bards. We all know how to build lore bards. If you don't know how to build a lore bard, you've never
There's
played
a guide on the site. There's a link in the show notes right now.
I was going to say is like, yes, obviously we have a guide on the site, but if you don't know how to build a lore bard, odds are you've never played a bard because it's the first subclass everybody picks when they do a bard.
It's like, I don't know. This seems pretty good. Well, again, but the problem is somebody buys the PHB, they read College of Lore, and then they read College of Valor, and they say, lore.
I think you're placing a lot of faith in people who know nothing else about the game. There are a lot of subclasses in the Player's Handbook that sound really, really cool when you read them. And then as soon as you start reading what character optimization is, you're like, oh, this makes me sad.
Fair enough. I'm not talking about newbies. I'm talking about people who have been playing the game for a while but never played a bard. And when they do play a bard, it's the first one they pick.
Yeah. Okay, all right. So Randall's going for creation, Ash is going for whispers, I'm going for eloquence. Okay, that gives us our subclass. So,
which is good. You could probably use some eloquence in your life. Oh,
hey.
Roasted!
I have been viciously mocked, sir. The words are cutting. Okay, so also at 3rd level, we get expertise. So you'll get expertise in 2 skills. Now, it's very important to note skills. Now, the reason I call that out, Rogues, the other class that gets expertise, we're not counting Rangers, they do get it as an optional class feature, but they also only get it for skills. Rogues can take expertise in a tool. Well, sorry, not a tool. They can take expertise in Thieves' tools, which is very crucial because Thieves' tools are what you use for locks and traps. It's not sleight of hand. We've talked about this one on the podcast before. If you were to go the Baldur's Gate 3 route and make all like traps, locks, make that sleight of hand checks, I agree with that decision. I think that is the right decision. I think it makes a lot of sense. But rules as written in 5e, Thieves' tools are what you use for those things. They are a separate proficiency and only rogues can take expertise in them. If I remember correctly, even the skill expert feat doesn't let you get expertise in Thieves' tools. So, Bard, you get expertise in any 2 skills, and knowing most bards, it's going to be charisma based.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is immediately where eloquence bards starts to become a problem. Like Ash called this out. Like eloquence bards trivialize social situations.
So yeah,
My 3rd level
what
feature.
features do you get at 3rd level?
Yeah. Silver Tongue. When you make a charisma persuasion or charisma deception check, you can treat a d20 roll of 9 or lower as a 10. So you have a floor on your d20 rolls of 10. And then you add your charisma modifier plus double your proficiency bonus thanks to expertise. So if I pick persuasion, I now have a minimum roll of 17 on persuasion checks. Pretty good.
This gets even worse with like tables that roll for stats because typically, like, let's say you get an 18 and your class bonus gives you a +2. It's not uncommon to see at my table because I tend to roll for a lot that people have a 20 in their main stat when we start out. So that is +5 +4. That's so now your minimum roll at level 3 is 19, which is bonkers.
Half the time you roll a 19. Half the time you roll better than that.
So basically, you're forced to, as a DM, either make everybody in the world just really hard to persuade, or the people or your players just always get what they want. I mean, always keep in mind that persuasion is not mind control. So that is a thing that you just have to play around if you're playing an eloquence part.
But it is hard, and we have this conversation all the time. Like when a player chooses to invest in something for their character, you want to reward them. You want them to you want that to be meaningful. The problem is if you have this intrigue campaign, or even if you just plan on having meaningful social interactions, they're all trivialized now. The only way to give them that reward is to let them be trivialized.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. Otherwise, prepare to get in fights with your player a lot.
Well, and vice versa. If you are planning on playing that eloquence bard, huge session 0, talk through, make sure clearly, rules lawyered out ahead of time. Like imagine some, that thing you do in the shower where you argue with yourself? Do that, but do it with your DM.
Yeah.
And write things down to understand, how are we going to resolve this?
I rolled a 27 on my persuasion check. You're telling me the big bad evil guy doesn't get down on his knees and worships me? How does that make sense? It's a 27. Prepare to have those conversations a lot.
So it arguably gets worse with deception because you do the exact same numbers, and you're typically rolling deception against creatures' passive insight. So there is a fixed DC for those checks that varies by creature, but a passive insight higher than 15 on anything that's not a player character is going to be incredibly rare. So right off the bat, everyone believes you. And typically, if you tell an unbelievable lie, like something that doesn't make any plausible sense, the DM is encouraged to give you a disadvantage, which straight up does not matter for eloquence bards. Because, oh no, I rolled 2 1s, still base of 10.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's why when it comes to stuff like that, I don't use passive insight for NPCs. I've always made it a contest. So,
Okay.
Yeah, especially for like smarter, wiser characters who maybe have proficiency in insight on their character sheet, that's definitely going to be a contest. Yeah, that if you establish, just if you're going to do that, make sure you establish that at the beginning so your player doesn't feel like they're being targeted because of this feature that they took.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's what's critical. So are we doing it? We're talking about our level 3
yeah,
features?
we should do that. Yeah.
Okay.
Is that your only feature at level 3?
Oh, I also get unsettling words, which feels a lot like lore bards cutting words. As a bonus action, you expend 1 use of bardic inspiration. Choose 1 creature you can see within 60 feet of you. Roll the die. Creature must subtract the number rolled from the next saving throw it makes before the start of your next turn. So it's literally just like, I'm about to hit you with a Save or Suck spell. Take a massive penalty. It's really good. Like, so good offensively.
Yeah.
What do you guys get?
Randall, what do you get?
Mote of Potential.
Mm-hmm.
So when I give a creature an bardic inspiration die, I utter a note from the Song of Creation, and a tiny little mote, a happy little, could be like a flower, a musical note, like just a heart starts floating around them until they use it. When they use their bardic inspiration, depending on the situation, something's going to happen. So on an ability check, the creature rolling the bardic inspiration die can roll it again and choose which to use. That's exciting. So basically, congratulations, advantage on your bardic inspiration roll. On an attack roll, the mote thunderously shatters. The target and each creature of your choice that you can see within 5 feet of it must succeed on Constitution saving throw against your spell save DC or take thunder damage equal to the number rolled on the bardic inspiration die. So they get to add, they're increasing the likelihood that they're actually going to hit. And in addition to that, you might get to deal area of effect damage.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a ton because bardic inspiration die aren't huge, but like a minor improvement to the existing benefits of the bardic inspiration die feels really good.
Yeah, 100%. And then finally, on a saving throw, the creature gains temporary hit points equal to the number rolled on the bardic inspiration die, plus your charisma modifier. So in that situation, you might allow them to save and take half damage. You might allow them to save and then nothing bad happens whatsoever. Mm-hmm. Fail or save, they're still getting temporary hit points, which are hopefully acting as a bit of a buffer for the damage that they're about to take.
Yeah.
All feels good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All feels really good.
In addition to this, so performance of creation. So this is what Tyler was getting after earlier, right? I get to animate a creature. I think at this level, it's large or smaller. No, medium. Item must be medium or smaller. It gets bigger later. Okay. So I get to...
You can just read it out loud.
I know. I was trying to summarize because there's so many paragraphs, but now I'm realizing I'm actually talking about the wrong feature. I can't animate anything yet. What I just said is wrong. We'll get to that later. Okay. Performance of creation. I get to create an object, medium or smaller. The gold value of that object can't be more than 20 times my BARD value. I create it, in front of me. I can't have it float in the air. It has to be on a surface, or I think in a liquid is fine too. Once you create an item with this feature, you can't do so again until you finish a long rest, unless you expend a spell slot of 2nd level or higher to use this feature again. You can have only 1 item created by this feature at a time. If you use this action and already have an item, the first one immediately disappears. For examples of items you can create, see the equipment chapter of the player's handbook.
Yeah.
So what am I going to use this for? I'm going to use this for I need a health potion. I need something to cure poison. What is the thing that ails us at this moment? I am going to conjure it into existence and immediately solve our problems. And as long as the thing isn't stupidly expensive, I'm going to be able to do it.
Yeah. It's pretty great. Tools, ladders, backpacks, 10-foot poles, wagons.
Rope,
pretty
a lantern. It sure is dark in here. Let's get some lamp oil.
Yeah. You can summon lamp oil. Huh.
So level 3 for me, I get Psychic Blades, which allows me to deal an extra, spend a use of my bardic inspiration when I do a weapon attack to deal an extra 2d6 psychic damage to that target, which definitely does bring to mind the assassin type of bard. And especially since, bards don't have a lot of offensive spells that they can do damage with. I got some mileage out of this feature, more than you'd think, especially with a crossbow and stuff like that. The psychic damage increases when you reach certain levels in the class, increasing to 3d6 at 5th level, 5d6 at 10th level, and 8d6 at 15th level. It's pretty good damage, respectively, especially since you get those inspirations back on a short rest. So I wasn't inspiring people a lot. I was mostly using it for psychic blades. Then the other feature is Words of Terror. If you speak to a humanoid alone for at least 1 minute, you can attempt to seed paranoia in its mind. At the end of the conversation, the target must succeed on a wisdom saving throw against your spell save DC or be frightened of you or another creature of your choice. The target is frightened in this way for an hour until it's attacked or damaged, or until it witnesses its allies being attacked or damaged. So this is a very niche ability. But like I said, it's really useful in like a political game or in a game where there's a lot of role play, because a character gets disadvantage on their ability checks as long as the object of their fear is within sight. So if you're trying to intimidate a person into doing what you want them to do, or like lie to them, this is a good way to set it up. Or like set up a distraction so that they have, disadvantage on their insight checks and stuff. And again, this is also a feature I think gets more mileage when the DM does those contest rolls. Because if it's just like a deception check against a set DC, this feature is going to do nothing for you. But if they get disadvantage on their insight checks to tell if you're lying, suddenly that's extremely powerful. So if you're going to play Whisper Bard, you probably want to approach your DM to talk about how they rule this stuff. Which is why, like in games that I've played, where not just me, all of the DMs that I've played with tend to do social situations as contests rather than a flat DC. This is a really good feature. So,
yeah, disadvantage does impose a -5 penalty on passive skills. So, -5 to -5 to passive insight, pretty huge.
I didn't know it did that, so that's cool.
Yeah,
and then advantage is +5, right?
Take back what I said.
It's still more fun if you roll it as a contest, though. Like
it is.
Adds some unpredictability.
It adds unpredictability, adds tension, especially if you're dealing with someone who's pretty smart. Like, it's just a commoner. I'm fine with doing it as like a DC. Like, they don't have enough insight to tell if you're lying. But if it's like the big bad evil guy, it feels right to have a contest. And talking to a guy who you hate and having him be frightened of you, and there being a mechanic for that, is quite fun. Not the most powerful ability, but definitely a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So I did the thing. I went into the equipment and I started looking to see, like, okay, what could I actually get here? Like, let's get excited about something. One, if I have a clumsy wizard, at level 3, I can get a spell book.
Now, I don't think the item's not permanent, right? Like, if you use the feature again, it goes away.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be even funnier, though, right?
Does it let you conjure a magic item? I thought it was just mundane items.
Well, I mean, spellbooks are just a mundane book that you write.
But like a health potion, I believe, is a magic item.
A potion of healing, 2d4 plus 4.
Yeah,
it's a 50 gold.
It is technically a magic item, but it doesn't actually tell you it's a magic item in the player's handbook, which is really confusing.
Yeah, it shows up in adventuring gear.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. How about this? We can all agree to this. Alchemist fire.
There you go.
Yeah, sure.
All right. Okay, let's party.
100 GP, expendable, burn a house down.
Yeah.
This is 50 GP for a flask.
Oh, what was 100? Was it acid that's 100? Or is it acid 25?
Acid's 25.
Okay. Something in there is 100. Does not matter. Off topic. All right. So 3rd level, we also get second. That makes sense. We also get 2nd level spells at this level. Bards get Diet Fireball. You do get Shatter. So this is one of the Bard's very, very few direct offensive spells. It's fine. It's on a Constitution save. The damage type is great. It damages objects, which is really nice, because sometimes you're just like, I'm having a really bad day. I think I'm going to do some structural damage with Shatter. And that can be a good time. More likely, you're going to take Enhance Ability, because being able to just say, like, I get advantage on ability checks for an hour, pretty great. Especially as a bard, because you're probably your party's face. So give yourself advantage on charisma checks before a social situation. Walk in. Everything is very easy suddenly.
Give it to the College of Eloquence bard. They didn't need it in the first place. You just wasted that spell slot.
Yeah. Accurate. All right, so level 4. We've made it to level 4. We get the optional class feature cantrip versatility, so we can retrain one of our bard cantrips if we want. We'll get another cantrip known, and probably more importantly, we get an ability score increase or feat. So, gentlemen, what are you taking at level 4?
This is easy for me. I'm picking actor, because if I'm going to be doing a lot of subterfuge and disguise, especially with my upcoming features, it'd be nice if I could imitate a person's voice flawlessly. So
yeah,
and it also gives me a bump to my charisma. So
it does.
Mm-hmm.
How about you, Randall?
I think I'm going to take the 2 points in charisma. I'm going to be boring.
Okay, nothing wrong with that. So I think I'm going to go. I think I'm going to go for skill expert and just really lean into being good at everything, just unstoppably good at everything. You know, +1 charisma, another skill proficiency, expertise in another thing. So I'll say I'll have expertise in persuasion, deception, insight. So that brings us to the end of tier 1. We're level 4. Basically, our tactics in combat really haven't changed from level 1. It's like you use bardic inspiration sometimes when you think it's going to be helpful. Mostly you're relying on like wisdom-based defensive spells. You might use weapons depending on your subclass, or just if you have good enough dexterity that you're going to do more damage with a crossbow than with Vicious Mockery. But most bards, your go-to offensive option is going to be Vicious Mockery because, like, yes, the damage is awful, but imposing disadvantage on attack rolls can mitigate a huge amount of damage dealt to your party. So, like, that debuff at any level is still going to feel impactful. I cannot tell you how many times I've seen crits averted by Vicious Mockery.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Ought to be almost 1 in 20 rolls. All right, folks, this is where we're going to break for now. The next time that you join us, we're going to be talking about tiers 2 through 4 of our bards that we're building. Thanks for joining us.